Oh no, they're coming. Wait, what's up?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Lego Builds on a Budget, and today we have a brand new awesome video. If you didn't know, this is the Palace of Ithaca. It was originally from a Greek myth that originated a long time ago. It was from the Odyssey, which takes place right after the Trojan War. The creator of the myth was Homer, not that Homer, and I think it is very cool. It has a lot of great details, and I won't spoil the Odyssey. Well, if you haven't read it, then it is a great thing to read. Yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So first up, for the Palace of Ithaca, we have the main entrance, or just the beach area. We start with some pretty simple water, only using some white pieces along with some transparent parts to create some simple waves. We also have a small boat with just some very small details in it to make it look more lifelike. We have two horses along the beach, probably just walking around. And we have two amazing looking palm trees. Now these palm trees were created using a flex tube in the center. I was able to get a bunch of these circular parts and put them through it. And I think it turned out looking really good. I also have a lot of grass detail, and I made it so it gradually went up from this dark tan color all the way to light tan and olive green and regular green. And now that went to the mountain. And I think it looks awesome. Up past the beach, which you can see some great rock work, I also have a lot more great rock work for the smaller cliff. Now, I was able to create this cliff without spending very much time in it by just using some snot techniques, which, if you didn't know what that means studs not on top. But I was able to create a realistic looking mountain, and I think it looks great. And from there you go to the grass layer, which also connects to the main palace. Up here we have a dirt path, which you can see leads to the main entrance. The main thing for the scene to make sense is that the king of Ithaca, Odysseus, has been gone for 10 years fighting the Trojan War. After that, he comes back home after 20 because he has to go on a long journey to get back home. So this has multiple different scenes before he gets home and after. So the first scene is right in this room, where you can see the queen is knitting his small thing for Odysseus' father. The main reason for this scene was because in the Odyssey, there were a lot of suitors trying to take over the palace and become the new king. She said she would do it once she had finished knitting the piece of cloth. But she ended up unwinding it every night, so they would never be able to marry her. So that's the first room. Right outside the first room is this nice pathway. I used a lot of brown parts to create a dirt path, and I also used a lot of green parts for vegetation, and made these cool fences using petal parts along with various other parts. I particularly enjoyed using the brown skeleton piece as an upside down part just to give it a little more detail. We'll start with the courtyard. This is one of my favorite parts, not because it portrays any scene, but because of how aesthetically pleasing I was able to get it. As you can see, there are some nice archways, and there is also a large tree in the center. I was able to get these parts at the Lego store, and I think the Lego pieces look great. The next room I want to show you guys is a bedroom. This isn't from the Odyssey, but the scene this portrays is when Odysseus has to prove himself to his wife since he's been gone for so long. So he tells her that he has a bed, that their bed was made of a specific type of wood. Now, since they were the only two people who got to see their bedroom, this proved to his wife that he was Odysseus. Next up, we have this room. Now, this doesn't portray any particular scene, except that when some of the maidens portrayed Odysseus by he sneaking off with a bunch of the suitors. This also leads to the top of here, which just has a very nice overview of the courtyard and the beach. So this next part is the bottom layer. This consists of 3 rooms, and I think it looks really cool. So this first scene portrays all the suitors, and as you can see, right there is Odysseus, and there is his son. So after all the suitors came, they were completely trashing the entire palace, and they were just messing everything up. So when Odysseus gets back, he defeats all the suitors and traps them in this room so he can defeat them. Over here you can see a bunch of the maidens at Odysseus's palace are trying to hold the door back so the suitors can't escape. Yet they also took all of their weapons, so they're defenseless against Odysseus and his son. And here you just have a general jail cell with a dead spider, and yeah. I think this area looks amazing because I was able to use a lot of different techniques. Like how I was able to make it so this entire door is just on 2 hinges and can fully come out. Another thing is how I was able to use a lot more studs on top techniques for the entirety of the walls. This looks great because I was able to make it all looks generally the same. I also made it so this was perfectly flush with the wall and there wasn't any gaps. And yeah. Also for the support pillars, I just used this large crate, but because it couldn't connect to the studs underneath, I used a lightsaber piece to be able to stick it in there, just like that. Though this MOC is awesome, my favorite part about it is how modular it is. So for one, this piece can come off, and there are a lot of different modular parts. So the roofs can all come off, and so pretty much what happens is you can take all these different parts off, and it reveals an entire interior, and that's how you get to the bottom. So you can see after that, you can take the middle part off, and you can just take every section off to easily reveal the entirety of the interior. So now this part, and so on and so forth, until you have the entire interior revealed. Now there is actually more to this interior, like how you can actually take these 2 sections, one smaller section there, and this larger section can also be removed. But yeah, I think the modularity of this is really cool. Overall, I think this is an awesome MOC with a lot of different details. It has a very large backstory, and I think it looks great. If you were to buy this or make it in real life, I would assume it would cost around $300 to $700. I know it's a pretty large range, but Lego prices can differ quite a bit. I hope you guys enjoy and have an amazing day. Bye!